A great part of the great outdoors, North Country Outdoors Radio.
All right, hey, good morning. Kurt Quinnell back on Lake of the Woods. Just leaving the Long Point Harbor today. This is Monday after the 4th of July weekend. I was off on Saturday and Sunday, off the water, because it's 4th of July and it's busy. And I just like to leave people alone for that one, but now it's Monday. The boat ramp was clear at 7 o'clock, no issues. And I was going to come out today to shoot video for sure. And lately we've had pretty much dead calm weather out here. And that's not 100% what you want. What I've got here this morning is about perfect, I think. But I've got everything today. I've got, I don't have any leeches because doggone it, shiner minnows is all you should need. There. But I've got jigs, I've got slip bobbers, I've got my lead core, and I've got a downrigger on the boat, and my box full of crankbaits. So I'm only fishing till noon. I want to give you a report. Now, if you've watched these videos, you know that right away in July is like my natural enemy. Things are going so good in June. You get up to the beginning of July, and it's great. Oh, man, it's great. And then all of a sudden, boom, things change in a day. And it's usually the bug hatches that get it going. Now we've had that, and it's been a couple of 3 days now since they started, and 2 days since they were really big. So there may be a little recovery there, but I'm really optimistic. This is the exact kind of weather you want, and I'm going to go out and get it done for this morning if I can. All right. So Lake of the Woods after the 4th of July. Come on along. We've got a great morning ahead, I'm sure. All right, I'm just setting up now. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard spot again. I came out and I got into the deep water and I started watching for fish on my depth finder. Well, boom, right away, there they were. And it's a lot windier than I thought it'd be. It's not too windy, not by a long stretch, but it's still windy. So first line's down, I've got a fish down there right away. You know, this is exactly the kind of wind that you want here, so I'm not complaining. I was hoping for a dead calm day, because like I said, I brought every piece of equipment in the shop today, so I'm ready for whatever. And a couple of days ago, I was out with a couple of buddies, and we drove right over fish, going to a spot that I wanted to go to. And eventually, we wound up back at those spots where we saw the fish, and that's where we caught them. It was kind of we were joking how, you know, I say when you see fish, stop and fish them, but then we don't. I had the line in the water for just a few seconds before I saw the first fish. He never bit, and then I had one suspended, so heck, I'm all kinds of excited about this now. There's a couple of tournaments this week. The Minnesota Tournament Trail, MTT, is here on, I think, Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday is the Woods Goods Tournament. That's a great event. Well attended. They have 125 teams. And it's a very, very top-notch local tournament. So good luck to everybody. So these spots out here are going to get busy this week. I'm messing around with the cameras. I get my first bite. And it's a 13.5-inch sauger. A nice fat 13.5-inch sauger. But they get to go today. That one bit really nice. That was really a nice bite. So that's one. It's 7:37. So I've been here probably 7 or 8 minutes, all right? So the forecast when I left the house said wind was out of the north at 0. This isn't 0, but it is not bad. If I could ask for some kind of wind, this would be it just right here. Comes right up on me again. Come on, there he is. This was better. Yeah. Need to net this one. There we go. Oh, look at this. Look at this. never know where they're going to come from. "17-inch walleye here this morning. Great stuff, huh? All right, buddy. Oop. July is such a dickens. You cruise through June, and everything's going your way, and things couldn't get any better. And then a big change comes within the first, well, by 4th of July for sure. All right. I've had really good fishing on the 2nd of July, but and it still can be really good. It's just different. It's not the same bite. And when you like jigging a frozen shiner minnow as much as I do, it's hard to make that change. Well, I can. But then a lot of days you can come out to these spots and you clean up on them pretty good with a jig and a frozen shiner minnow. You just never know. There is another one. I have never fished in this spot before. I just watched the depth finder on the way out. Another little guy. But we know they're not all little. And when you see fish on the depth finder, especially fish tight to the bottom, all right, if you see them 4 or 5 feet off the bottom, that's a different ball game, all right? But if they're tight to the bottom, most days those fish are gonna bite. And on Lake of the Woods, my only point of reference here is that it's not hard to drive around and find fish. They're scattered all over out here. But once you find some, if they're on the move, you think they would move away. Well, the longer you sit in your spot until the bite's done, more and more fish come to bite. It's crazy, this mud bite. And I've been watching other people's videos fishing Lake of the Woods lately, and that's what everyone's talking about. They're not talking about the reef bite. And I know there's a bunch of awesome reef anglers out there that just drool at the mouth this time of the year so they can get out and fish around their favorite rock piles. Well, that's good and that's fine, and that's steady. Whatever you want to do is fine. But if you're looking for day in and day out fish, you get out in this mud, and I've showed you before. This spot is 20 miles this way and 15 miles this way. And seriously, any place out here could have fish. There's no structure. It's just mud. It's a flat bowl. It is a bottom, a little bit there, maybe some gravel or something here and there that is going to help you out. But the key is you drive along slowly. Watch your depth finder. In fact, when we found these fish out here the first time, we weren't even going slow. We were heading for Garden Island, going straight north. And we were going over these fish all the time. You could see them. So one day we stopped and fished them. And I'm sure not saying I was the first one to stop and fish them, but I mean, I figured it out that way. You see them, you stop, and you jig them up. Now, if you drive around a lot and don't see any, now this is the other part, this is where July changes, then you want to be pulling a crankbait. You can pull a spinner if you'd like, but you cover a lot more ground with a crankbait. It caught me by surprise. I was just thinking about moving. And my rod tip's going boing, 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 boing. This is a nice fish here. Oh, I got him sideways, that's all right. But this is a sauger that would keep. Easy a 14-inch sauger, all right? So I guess I don't think about moving yet. All right, there it is. You know what kind of a jig I've got on today. The blinking light lure, my swivels, frozen shiner minnow. Over the side we go. The wind like this is perfect for today. It's going to keep it's going to keep me cooler for one thing. And another thing, it'll keep we're getting to the buggy time of the summer now. You know, you could wind up with biting black flies anytime. We are just a couple of days away from mayfly hatch. Like I said, it was 2 days ago we had the big one out here on the lake. I'm not seeing anything, well, I'm not seeing much in the water today. There's a few carcasses around. But it doesn't take them long to clear. As soon as the carcasses are all gone, give the fish a day to recover from that, and they'll be back on the chow. And you can still fish those fish. They'll bite, probably on a crankbait more than anything else, but you can still jig those fish. The mayfly hatch isn't the kiss of death. It's just a pretty good excuse that we all have. All right, I went to start the camera and I shut it off when I got the bite. And the phone starts ringing. This is a nice fish here. Come on, buddy. Look at this. Now, I've caught 4 good keeper saugers, and this is my second walleye like this. I'll tell you how long he is. It's an 18-inch walleye. Beautiful, fat, nice 18-inch walleye. Great. The other thing, having your phone ring also just triggers fish biting like crazy. It's just after 10, and the last half hour has been really quiet. I just had a bite just a second ago, and that's the first bite I've had probably in 20 minutes. There's been fish around, but they haven't been going. So what you do here is you pick up and you go a half a mile or a quarter mile or a mile, and slow down and start watching for your fish again. Come on up, bite, buddy. And get on a new pot of fish. Whether these guys are going to go and the other option is stay right here. They're going to bite again. But like this, it actually looks like it's a pretty nice one. There's always big decisions to make. If you're catching, I'm saying stay put. If you go a half an hour and you get antsy, go ahead and look for another spot, because there's plenty of spots out here. I'm looking around, I see one other boat. This is Monday after the 4th of July, so maybe where the rest of this week's gonna be busy with the tournament guys out here, that maybe the next couple of days won't be very busy, but it's beautiful out here. I may try some other things, but boy, I'm really happy that things worked out the way they did. I can come out here and anchor up close in. I'm not that far at a long point, and is when you see fish, you stop and you get them. So I had decent fish here. I wasn't keeping any today. The only thing I haven't gotten is a big one, but like I said, I've fished here for 2.5 hours. Let me sit out here all day, and I'm sure that you don't go a day without getting at least a couple of them in the slot that's nice. So on a beautiful day after the 4th of July holiday weekend, don't give up on Lake of the Woods. Summer pattern is awesome. It's just a little bit different. So, from Lake of the Woods, I'm Kurt Quinnell. We'll see you out here soon, somewhere, I hope, on the water. And remember, clean, drain, and dry.